Thank you to everyone attending tonight's meeting of the San Bruno Community Foundation Board of Directors. We are in person at the San Bruno Senior Center, and we welcome members of the public who are attending via Zoom. We appreciate your patience if we have any technical hiccups. We are asking speakers to speak loudly and clearly so that the microphone that we kind of don't have can pick you up, and our online guests as well as everyone in the room can hear you well. A couple of technical items before we get to the content of tonight's meeting. Please know that we want to hear from you. Members of the public who are here at the Senior Center in person, if you would like to speak during public comment for items within the jurisdiction of the board that are not on the agenda or on any of the agendized items, please fill out one of the speaker cards that is on the table near the door. If you are attending on Zoom and you would like to address the board during public comment for items again not on the agenda or any of the agendized items, please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Once you raise your hand, the executive director will see that someone wants to talk and she will let them know that you're waiting. When it is your turn to speak, the executive director will call your name and unmute. If you are joining us by telephone, you may also address the board during public comment by pressing *9, and the executive director will address you and unmute. Speakers will be given 3 minutes to address the board. Please note that individuals may only speak once per agenda item. Were there any emails?
There was one that came in immediately before the meeting, and I have a chance to forward to you.
Thank you so much. Okay. I'll now call the regular meeting of the San Bruno Community Foundation's Board of Directors of December 4th, 2024 to order. I hope everyone's had a safe Thanksgiving holiday, and we have a very full agenda tonight, so let's get to it. Item number 2, roll call. Secretary Gomez.
Board Member Belinda Wong. Board Member Sophia Perry. Treasurer Max Moon. Secretary Roswell, present. Vice President Jim Wayne. Here. President Melissa Tony.
Here. Item number 3, public comment. Would any members of the public like to address the board on a topic that is within the jurisdiction of the board but is not on the agenda? For those on Zoom, please indicate so by the raise of hand button at the bottom of your screen. We will move on to item number 4. Recognition of Irving Torres for his services on the San Bruno Community Foundation Board of Directors. Irving is joining us via Zoom. The handsome gentleman. Tonight, we have the opportunity to recognize a beloved member of our foundation family who is joining us tonight via Zoom. As you may know, Irving Torres resigned from the foundation board in late August and has left San Bruno to take a new job out of state. We ask that Irving join us for tonight's meeting so that we can properly show our appreciation for all that he has done for the foundation and the San Bruno community. Although he was only with us for 2.5 years, Irving made a big impression on all of us who have had the privilege to serve with him on the foundation's board. We certainly miss his smiling face and positive attitude at our meetings. It is my pleasure now on behalf of the board to recognize you, Irving, with a proclamation from the San Bruno Community Foundation. Irving, I doubt you have the package Leslie delivered to your parents' house earlier this week, but it contains 2 items from the foundation. The first item is a framed proclamation, which I will now read. Whereas Irving Torres served as a member of the Board of Directors of the San Bruno Community Foundation from January 2022 to August 2024, demonstrating integrity, commitment, and distinction as one of the foundation's leaders. Whereas Irving Torres served on the ad hoc committee on Tan Fran Memorial, which spearheaded the foundation's support for the Tan Fran Assembly Center Memorial Committee's successful efforts to construct and install a permanent memorial plaza outside of the San Bruno BART station to to honor the memory of the nearly 8,000 Japanese Americans who were incarcerated at the Tan Fourier Assembly Center during World War II, and to educate community members of this infamous chapter in San Bruno and American history. Whereas Irving Torres chaired the ad hoc committee on the San Bruno Park School District Strategic Initiatives, which led to foundation investments in the athletic fields at several of the district schools, both to address field demand from community soccer groups in the face of the impending closure of the playing fields at the former Crestmore High School site, and to provide much needed and safe recreational space for the students at the district schools. Whereas Irving Torres served on the audit committee overseeing the annual audit of the foundation's financial statements. Whereas his colleagues on the board of directors have valued Irving Torres for his dedication to ensuring that diverse community voices inform the board's decisions, as the enthusiastic and personable ambassador for the foundation throughout the community, and as a trusted colleague who they could always count on for perspective, advice, and humor. And whereas Irving Torres has many contributions to the foundation as a thriving nonprofit dedicated to benefiting the San Bruno community, will not be forgotten. Now, therefore, on behalf of the San Bruno Community Foundation Board of Directors, I, Melissa Nethane Jones, officially recognize Irving Torres and express our sincere appreciation for his dedication to the foundation and the San Bruno community, and wish him the best in all future endeavors. Stated the 4th day of December 2020. Irving, the second item is a small gift of appreciation for you. It's a cutting board, which I know you really wanted. And there is a heart denoting the city with a heart over where San Bruno is located on the map of California. We hope this will remind you of your time with the foundation. And before I turn the floor over to Irving, would any of the other board members like to say a few words?
Irving, hate to see you go, but it's great to see you back. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, we really miss you on the board here, the Community Foundation, and I know that we're doing amazing work outside of this work, but again, we'll continue to follow the trials and see where producing, and we have our back to so that we can toast you.
I'm not sure if I can hear the person that's talking.
Thank you, Irving. Irving, I also want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with you. And I, like the proclamation said, I enjoyed the smile, I enjoyed the jokes, and I enjoyed learning from you, especially about the nonprofit world. I was actually hoping you would be coming back soon.
And before I turn it over to the public, Irving, it's always been a pleasure working with you on the county level and then in our hometown of San Bruno, so it's been amazing. I'm so excited for your future and that you're continuing the very good fight. So continue to do it, and wish you the best of luck, Irving. Thank you. Any comments from the public? Okay, Irving, it's your turn.
Great. Well, it's so good to see all the board members. Happy holidays. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege to serve on this foundation, especially as someone that has grown up in San Bruno. So to be able to kind of be in that position and to kind of in some way, give back, it's just been really just a really humbling experience. I'm very grateful to have served in that capacity, and to the board members, like I learned a lot from you all. I was always in awe, and I was really just like absorbing everything from all the words that you all been saying throughout the process in my time on the foundation. So, I just want to thank each and every one of you all for your leadership, especially taking the time, right? When we can all be doing something else, but you all kind of take this leadership role and really, for the greater good. And so I just want to thank you all, and it's just been a pleasure. And Leslie, thank you so much for just your leadership as well. And throughout this process, especially when I got on board at the Community Foundation, and how you were able to get me up to speed, and also for answering all my questions. And everything we do is really impactful, and I think I'm sure some of you all have heard that I went on to work in the state of Nevada for like the Harrison Walls campaign. One takeaway that inspires me that I want to kind of say to you all that correlates, what it means to serve on the foundation is just the lasting impacts. And so I've been fortunate enough to really, when I was there in Nevada, really kind of see kind of the next generation be inspired. But the reason why I share that with you all is just like the investments that was made towards this generation that's going to do good work across the country and down the road. It just reminded me of just like the investments that we make in San Bruno and the Community Foundation, and how those investments could actually lead towards these lasting impacts and raising like a brand new generation of leaders who are going to do good work, and hopefully that can one day serve in the seats and the board of directors that we all sit in. So once again, I miss you all. So definitely when I come back, it'll be great to see you all in person. But I wish you all the best of luck. Happy holidays. And again, thank you all. It's just been an honor and privilege to serve on the board of directors.
Thank you, Irving. Okay, we will now transition back into our agenda. Item number 5, approval of minutes. Secretary Gomez.
Thank you, Melissa. In your meeting packet tonight are minutes from our November 6th, 2024 regular special board meeting. Turn it back over to you.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. If there are no questions, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Great, thank you. Secretary Gomez?
Thank you. Excuse me. Board member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board member Supriya Perry.
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Lake.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Vice President Jim Roy.
Aye.
President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye,
All ayes again.
thank you. Item number 6, Executive Director's Report. I'll turn it over to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, and happy holidays to everyone. Apologize for some technical difficulties we're having today. Our usual IT staff was not able to set up for us, so we only have this microphone. I know a number of you will be speaking later in the program. Is the L camera, and so we just ask that you project from the podium because there is not a microphone at the podium, so that people on Zoom, we do have several people on Zoom, can hear you. So thank you for that, and we apologize. The packet contains my full executive director's report. We have a packed meeting, so I'm just going to give a couple of the highlights. First of all, I have renewed our contract with our consulting, accounting consultant, Frank Bittner. He has been with us since 2015 and does a wonderful job keeping us in order on the financial side. Basically, we renewed his contract. We do that every year as of December 1st. All the other terms of the contract remain the same. Our tax returns, we filed before the November 11th deadline, and so those have all been filed with the relevant government agencies, and we have fully closed the book on our audit and tax return cycle for FY 23-24. And then finally, as you know, with Irving's resignation from the board, we have a vacancy on the board Just today, the city clerk's office posted the application for folks interested in applying to serve on the foundation board. It is for the remainder of his term, which actually concludes at the end of 2025, and then there will be an opportunity to reapply again. But so it's just basically for a year. It is on both the foundation website and the city's website. That process is being run through the city clerk's office, and the city council will make the appointment hopefully by mid-February at the latest. The application deadline is January 10th, 2025. And that is my report.
Great. Thank you so much, Leslie. Are there any questions from the board? In terms of the report, any questions from the public? Okay. All right, that concludes the executive director's report. Thank you so much, Leslie. Item number 7, consent calendar. We have 5 items on the consent calendar. Am I too loud?
No, you're too loud.
I felt like I was projecting in my ear. Okay. We have 5 items on the consent calendar today as listed in the agenda. Would any members of the public like to comment on any of the consent items? Are there any hands raised on Zoom?
No.
Any questions from the board? Okay. Then I call for a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
So, second.
Okay, great. Secretary Gomez for roll call vote, please.
Absolutely. Board Member Belinda Wong,
Aye.
Board Member Supriya Perry,
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Lynn,
Aye.
Raul Gomez is an aye, Vice President Jim Ruane.
Aye.
Melissa Natani Jones, President.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you. Item number 8. Receive recommendation from Community Grants Fund Review Panel to determine whether proposed grant, community grant, Crestmore Fields Project Grant, and San Bruno Nerita Sister City Program Grant to the City of San Bruno present a conflict of interest under nonprofit and exempt entity laws, and adopt resolution awarding 2024 to 2025 community grants totaling $300,000. To those of you who are here this evening representing organizations that are being recommended for a grant, if you would like to address the board, we will be calling for comments after the agenda item has been presented. On behalf of the board, I want to express our gratitude to YouTube and Google.org for their support of the Community Grants Program. This year, for the 8th consecutive year, YouTube and Google.org have contributed $100,000 to the Community Grants Fund and enabled us to increase our grant making by 50%. We're so grateful for their support, and they are true community partners. The Foundation's Community Grants Program is a highlight for the Foundation because these funds touch so many different sectors of our community and enable such important work with tangible impacts that enhance lives and our community in the process. These grants will make a meaningful difference in our community. Before asking Leslie to introduce this agenda item, I would like to recognize some of the dignitaries who are present tonight to hear about our community grants. San Bruno Mayor Rico Medina is here tonight. Thank you for joining us. I know the mayor would like to say a few words, so Mayor Medina, we'd love to hear from you at the podium at this time. And please speak loud.
So the uniqueness is I'm getting over something, it's been a while, but I got a little bit of laryngitis. So in the days that I served on council with Jim Wayne, I'm sure he wished that I had it then. But this might have been from just the excitement of the tree lighting down in Centennial Plaza with the community, with just, and the neighborhoods that came out and those that participated, those that sang, those that played, the merchants that had events that happened after. What we have here is something that, with the unfortunate disaster that happened in 2010, and I was trying to rebuild, and a council back then, what are we gonna do? Because I've been so long on the council, or my age, I think it is now, it is that I'm an old guard. Jim's been called the old guard. But the old guard back then stood up and said, it's not okay what PG&E did was not okay. And we were going to unite as a council, as a community, and fight and change things for the future of California. And we did, and we succeeded. With that came a restitution, which then had the formation of the Community Foundation. And it has done things. As you drive down the street, you see the new Recreation Aquatic Center. Would not have been possible. Not have been possible. Do we not know what was sacrificed? A neighborhood. 8 lost lives. 8 lives were lost. Many people still today that I see and keep in contact have the scars emotionally and physically. That will never go away. But what they rejoice at is that there are things like this, grants that are given, scholarships that are given. And what does that mean? Their lives, their memories continue forward. And a difference is made. The folks that are going to receive these grants are those that help people of this community in need. There are great organizations here that are take up their time and their devotion to ensure that those that need it, those that need the help, that they have it. And that, to me, is something that I will say, as Jim would say, something good had to have come out of it, and things continue to come out of it that are positive for the future of this community. Even in COVID, giving grants, helping the school district. This was something that was possible by the board, by the council, by the community. And to me, it has always been important, and I think to Jim, I can speak for you, is that this foundation was set with parameters and structures. It wasn't for salaries for city staff. It wasn't to pave a road. It was to make long-lasting difference. Like the rack down the street that will outlast me. And every person that has helped through these contributions, grants, and scholarships. Truly, when you hear the scholarship recipients come back and how it's changed their lives, they're going back into the field to help others. My God, what we have here is something, is just beautiful. And I have felt blessed to see the result of that disastrous night. And I'm blessed and honored to have all of you that are here that give so much of yourselves to so many people year-round, not just the holidays. And so on behalf of myself, on behalf of the city of San Bruno, I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to congratulate you and feel how blessed we are to have you in our community. And I wish you the very best in 2025. Thank you.
Much, Mayor Medina, for being with us and saying some remarks with us tonight. Leslie, would you please share with us the recommendations from the review panel?
I would like to do that. And thank you, Mayor Medina, for joining us and for your kind words. Also want to thank YouTube and Google.org, which contributed $100,000 of the $300,000 we are awarding this evening. We have been very grateful for their longstanding support over the past 8 years of this program as a way of giving back to the community that YouTube calls home. Unfortunately, they weren't able to send a representative tonight, but they did want me to express their appreciation for all the work that the grantees do. So now we're here for what we've all been waiting for. I'm happy to present to the board the recommendations of the Community Grants Fund Review Panel. This is a very exciting moment for the foundation, where for the 9th year, the foundation will share some of the restitution funds with local community organizations that are the lifeblood of San Bruno. As you know, we launched this cycle in July, as we always do, with the September 18th deadline. This program, just to remind everyone, allows local community organizations that serve San Bruno to receive grant funding of up to $25,000 per year for projects benefiting the San Bruno community. This year, by the deadline, we received 55 applications requesting a total of nearly $900,000. So 3 times what we had to distribute. After an initial review, 3 applications were deemed incomplete, and we were not able to verify the eligibility of 1 applicant. As a result, 51 applications were passed along to our volunteer review panel of 13 individuals who read the applications and rated them and deliberated and came up with the slate of awards to be considered tonight. The review panel evaluated the applications based on 5 established program criteria. First, the benefits of the proposed project to the San Bruno community, which is the most important criterion. Second, the proposal's alignment with one of the foundation's focus areas. Third, project methodology and budget. Fourth, requested grant amount in relation to the anticipated community benefit. And fifth, the organization's track record, stability, and financial health. Based on its evaluation and deliberations, the panel is recommending that the board approve grant awards totaling $300,000 to 29 programs that it concluded sufficiently satisfied the 5 criteria. The 29 programs serve a broad cross-section of the San Bruno community, including low-income families, youth, students, seniors, the unhoused, and so on. Recommended grant awards range from $3,000 to $20,000. 17 of the grants are for at least $15,000. 17 of the recommended grant awards are for specific programs that also receive community grant funding in past cycles. 3 programs are receiving funding for the 3rd consecutive year and therefore will not be eligible for funding next year. As you can imagine, the competition was stiff, with many strong applications and requests totaling nearing 3 times the available funding. In order to ensure that a broad assortment of programs serving diverse cross-sections of the community would be funded, most of the recommended grant awards are for less than the amount requested by the applying organization. And in the end, the review panel declined to recommend 22 applications for funding. In some cases, the panel found the programs to be worthwhile, but the programs were not found to be quite as compelling based on the 5 criteria as those being recommended for funding. Others did not make a strong enough case for need and or benefit to San Bruno, failed to provide sufficient details and supporting documentation, failed to clearly explain how the funds would be used, and or raise questions about the organization's ability to successfully implement the program. When the packet for this meeting was posted, Program Manager Jessica Carrillo notified all applicants of the review panel's recommendation with respect to their specific application. For those not being recommended for funding, we offer a phone call to explain the review panel's reasoning and provide feedback that could be helpful to them should they choose to apply in a future grant cycle. Some have already taken us up on that offer and will be providing feedback. So now I'd like to present as quickly as I can the 29 grants being recommended for approval. They're in the board meeting packet with descriptions, so I'm just going to very quickly go through them to make sure they are all recognized here tonight. $10,000 to the Cappuccino High School Alumni Association for its music program. $15,000 for Circus Bella to offer free Circus in the Park performances in San Bruno City Park this summer. $16,500 to the City of San Bruno to support the San Bruno Library Summer Reading Program. $10,000 to Cora Community Overcoming Relationship Abuse for their safe and supportive housing program for San Bruno survivors of intimate partner abuse. $20,000 to Each Green Corner for its Living Campus program to empower students to address food insecurity and climate readiness through its Food Explorer curriculum at Bel Air, Allen, and Portola Elementary School. $10,000 to Edgewood Center for Children and Families to provide low-income, at-risk transition aid youth in San Bruno with mental health services, peer support, and other supplies. The San Bruno Transition Age Youth Drop-In Center. $5,000 to Fresh Lifelines for Youth, otherwise known as FLY, for its Peer Point program. It assists San Bruno youth in addressing the root causes of probation, expulsion, and suspension in partnership with the San Bruno Police Department. $5,000 to Homemore Project Incorporated to deliver makeshift traveler backpacks, which are specifically designed and outfitted for the needs of those experiencing homelessness, to unhoused individuals in San Bruno and to connect them to needed resources. $9,000 to Junior Achievement in Northern California to provide financial literacy, workforce readiness, and entrepreneurship programming to San Bruno High School students through the Inspiring Economic Empowerment for San Bruno Youth Program. $15,000 to the Latino Commission on Alcohol and Drug Abuse Services of San Mateo County to provide culturally based mental and behavioral health services to primarily Spanish-speaking San Bruno residents in substance abuse recovery, and to provide support for a healthy development into adulthood through a bicultural, bilingual young women's empowerment program. $10,000 to the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County to provide legal assistance to San Bruno residents facing eviction or living in substandard conditions through the Home Savers Program. $5,000 to the Marine Science Institute to enable underserved San Bruno students to experience meaningful hands-on marine science and environmental education programs through the Discover Our Bay program. $20,000 to the Mindful Life Project to provide mental health and wellness support through comprehensive in-person, full-time mindfulness-based social and emotional learning programming at Bel Air and elementary schools. $6,500 to Mission Hospice and Home Care Incorporated to offer free monthly drop-in grief support with experienced bereavement counselors for community members here at the Senior Center. $15,000 to Music for Minors to provide culturally relevant, standards-based in-school music education to transitional kindergarten through second grade students at San Bruno Park School District Elementary Schools. $6,000 to the Parkside Boosters to strengthen the community of students, teachers, staff, and families at Parkside Intermediate School by hosting school-wide multicultural events. $5,000 to Partners and Advocates for Remarkable Children and Adults, also known as PARCA, to support REACH, its inclusive licensed daycare program that provides before and after school care and summer camp programming for children with and without developmental disabilities based at John Muir Elementary School. $10,000 to the San Bruno Improvement Group Incorporated to enhance the downtown San Bruno community by fostering local business growth and promoting a vibrant, connected downtown area through the organizing of community-focused events. $8,000 to the San Bruno Lions Foundation to support Second Harvest of Silicon Valley's distribution of healthy food to San Bruno families in need through the purchase and installation of a container to store necessary supplies at Bel Air Elementary School. $20,000 to the San Mateo County Community College District for the Accelerate Fellowship Program run through the Bay Area Entrepreneur Center in downtown San Bruno to catalyze economic and community advancement within under-resourced communities in San Bruno by supporting Skyline College students conducting community benefit and improvement projects. $10,000 to Second Harvest of Silicon Valley to serve San Bruno families and individuals at risk for hunger through the distribution of healthy food at various sites in San Bruno. $10,000 to the Society of St. Vincent de Paul Particular Council of San Mateo County to provide rent, utilities, and food assistance to San Bruno families and individuals at risk of homelessness through the Peninsula Family Resource Center. $3,000 to the Society of West Coast Artists to host a month-long exhibition of visible artwork by art students at Skyline College at its gallery in downtown San Bruno. $10,000 to Sonrisas Dental Health Incorporated to improve health equity in San Mateo County by removing systemic barriers to care, providing prevention education, and increasing dental utilization for adult residents of San Bruno. $7,000 to Spindrift School of Performing Arts to support performing arts opportunities in San Bruno Park School District schools through the purchase of a traveling lighting system to enhance production quality of performances. $9,000 to Star Vista to support San Bruno families facing difficult challenges with interactive educational workshops for parents, children, and caregivers through the Early Childhood Services Program. $7,500 to Via Heart Project to treat cardiac arrest and prevent unnecessary deaths by providing hands-only CPR and AED training to 7th and 8th graders at Parkside Intermediate School. $12,500 to Wings Learning Center to empower autistic students, enhance their quality of life, and promote long-term success by providing school-based music therapy and offering music events to the broader San Bruno community of autistic and neurodiverse students and their families. And last but not least, $10,000 to the YMCA of San Francisco to increase access to comprehensive human and social services and emergency safety case management assistance to San Bruno residents at a satellite site at Bel Air Elementary School. That's a total of $300,000 for 29 grants. I want to thank the members of the review panel who spent many, many hours reading and evaluating the applications. They took their duties very seriously and deliberated very thoughtfully in a 3+ hour meeting to decide on the recommended grant awards. I also want to thank Jessica for all her hard work in making sure that this program runs smoothly as it does every year, and being our main liaison to all of our applicants and grantees. Now we'd like to give representatives of the recommended grantee organizations the opportunity to address the board. Due to the large number of organizations, we ask that only one person per organization speak. You'll have up to 3 minutes. And I'm going to call you up in alphabetical order by organization name. So in the past, sometimes had you stand. We don't want to make you stand for an hour. So I'll be calling you up in groups. You'll have your 3 minutes. We're going to do everybody in person first, and then we'll get to, there's a few that are participating via Zoom. So let's get the list out and go through them. The first 3 that will be speaking in this order are Cappuccino High School Alumni Association, Circus Villa, and the City of San Bruno. So for Cap Alumni Association, representative would like to start.
My name is Andrea Vanderlecht, and I'm here representing the Cappuccino Music Program. The music program consists of the orchestra, color guard, winter percussion, marching band, and choir. Approximately 150 students participate in these groups, led by the director, Jonathan Sue, who's a well-respected musician and director. He's assisted by 3 experienced staff members who train and support the students and student leaders. Above all, Mr. Sue strives to create a welcoming environment for students to develop character and leadership traits that will serve them well beyond their musical pursuits. One parent of a student of the marching band wrote to me, "I cannot say enough good things about what this experience has brought to my son. He knew no one when he started this school as a freshman, coming from a small private school. Now, as a junior and a section leader in the marching band, my son has flourished and gained leadership skills, as well as the confidence to work hard in order to reach his goals." The music program benefits the students individually, but it's also enjoyed by the San Bruno community and beyond. The band serenades our high school graduates, delights spectators at football games, coordinates performances with Parkside and concerts and at the annual Posey Parade, and represents our city, dazzling in their full uniform at parades and competitions around the Bay Area, with 2 of our students selected this year into the All-State Honor Band. The Cappuccino Orchestra won a unanimous superior at the local CMEA music competition and performed at the state competition in Southern California. And we've heard the chamber singers sing the national anthem for us at major city events and perform several patriotic songs at the National Cemetery last month. Today, I actually received a letter from one of those in attendance. Today, I attended the Veterans Day celebration at Golden Gate National Cemetery in San Bruno. I really appreciated the musical contribution made by your Cappuccino High School chamber singers. My dad was a career Marine, and my parents are buried there. Please accept a contribution to your CAP Music Boosters in honor of my father, who was not able to join today. As a San Bruno resident, it makes me proud to watch these students participating and bringing joy to others in our community, and their prestige reflects well on the city of San Bruno. As part of the Music Boosters, we do a significant amount of fundraising to make these programs happen. Instruments and buses are not inexpensive, but one very important aspect of Mr. Sue's message to our board and to the families of the students is his strong belief that all students who wish to participate should have the ability to do so regardless of their financial situation. Thank you for considering our Cappuccino Music Program as a recipient of this generous grant, which will allow us to bridge this financial gap and continue to impact both students and the San Bruno community. It is an exceptional investment. Thank you, Irving.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and I'm the co-founder, executive director, and ringmaster of Circus Bella. And we're so honored to receive, or to hopefully receive this grant to bring our summer show to San Bruno City Park. So Circus Bella, this will be our 18th season of bringing free shows to parks and open spaces throughout the Bay Area and Reno. And we have been trying to get into the South Bay for our whole history, and we've been writing grants and trying to get south. And you all are the first organization that took the leap to bring our show to San Bruno. About the show, what happened, we arrived in a truck in the morning. The acrobats and artists actually set up the show in the park. The show consists of about 10 to 12 jugglers, clowns, aerialists, acrobats. And then we also have a 6-piece live band at our shows. And we're very proud to have a very diverse, multi-generational, multicultural, multiracial, multi-sexual company. So what we feel is what we really represent the Bay Area in all of our shows. And I think what circus is a very special art form because it creates an opportunity. I think it's something we can agree upon. Whether it's you like to laugh at a clown, you gasp at an aerialist, you don't like circus at all, you just want to listen to the band, there's something for you at the show. And it creates an opportunity for communities to come together and get out of their houses, sit next to each other in the park, and have a community experience. So thank you all so much. And we look forward to seeing you at the circus in either June or July. We'll work on the dates soon. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Foundation Board. My name is Tim Wallace. I'm Community Services Superintendent for the San Bruno Library. Considering the number of speakers tonight, I'll make my comments very brief. On behalf of the city, the Community Services Department, and the San Bruno Library, I want to thank you for your generous support of the 2025 Summer Reading Program. Research shows that children who don't read over the summer lose literacy skills, a phenomenon known as the summer slide. The San Bruno Library's Summer Reading Program is designed to prevent this. Thanks to your funding, the library will provide children with a book to keep when they join the program and another upon completing it. This initiative will ensure that participants have access to quality reading materials at home, either starting or growing their personal libraries. Additionally, the program will feature special events and enrichment programs throughout the summer, encouraging children to visit the library, discover new books, and develop a lifelong love of reading. Thank you once again for your support of the library's summer reading program. We look forward to a summer filled with reading, learning, and connection for the children and families of San Bruno. Thank you.
The next three are Edgewood Center for Children and Families, Fresh Lifelines for Youth, and Junior Achievement.
My name is Greg Biggs and I'm with Edgewood, and thank you for considering our proposal to you. Edgewood is a nonprofit organization that has been serving some of the most underserved youth and families in the Greater Bay Area since 1851. And we have been, and next year we will be marking our 25th year here in San Mateo County. And the proposal before you for our transitional age youth drop-in center here in San Bruno is serving some of the most vulnerable members of the community. Those young adults between 18 to 25, which is a demographic that felt the greatest lasting impact of the global pandemic that had a devastating impact on mental health, economic livelihood. And our drop-in centers provide a powerful place for those young adults to come. Many of them are ones who have aged out of the foster care system and are really in great need of support as they navigate the journey known as adulthood. And our drop-in centers provide them a range of services that include job readiness, meals, transportation. We also have a mobile services van that goes out to where they are if they're not able to come to the centers. And what I think is most especially powerful about it is that the staff that are working with them are what we call peer partners, meaning that they have lived experience. Many of them were previously participants themselves. So they serve as both role models and mentors to show these young adults who are making that journey into adulthood of what is possible and to help them on that journey. Thank you for considering our proposal. We appreciate the past support of the foundation, and we hope you look at our proposal thoughtfully. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Luke Namien. I am the program manager for the Peer Point program at Fresh Lifelines for Youth. So I'd first like to start by saying thank you all for the consideration in the first place. Also, they're not here, but I'd like to give a big thank you to the San Bruno Police Department, specifically Captain Brent Schmeck and also Officer Trisha Bauer. Because of the work that we've been able to do with them over the past couple of months of working out a memorandum of understanding for us to do the work that we want to do in terms of restorative justice. This is a big first in San Mateo County to be able to work with police departments in this way. And essentially what we're trying to partner with police and schools to do is divert youth from suspension and arrest, address the root causes of what may be causing them to do things like skip school, get into fights, shoplift, do graffiti, all these sorts of things, and help them unlock their own potential to get onto a path that they deem is proper for them, and give them supports from a group of peers that come from, here in San Bruno, but also from the entire San Mateo community. So typically what we'll be doing with youth is, if they are, say, stopped by San Bruno Police, if that officer feels like this one young person would benefit from restorative justice, they then contact us. We reach out to the young person, and we bring them into a space with their peers that we also train in restorative justice practices. So we host restorative justice trainings for young people all over San Mateo County, and we will be doing the same here in San Bruno, specifically with students from this area. So that young people have the option of being supported by people that they know, people who understand their material conditions and the way that the local system may be impacting them, but also exposing them to people who aren't necessarily from their community, who may not necessarily be system impacted, but those young people still see a need in these types of services, for their contemporaries. So a young person, they'll typically be working with us for about 4 to 5 months. We have a coach that works directly with them, meets with them several times a week. Their restorative plans are basically the 4-month plan that's created with the support of the other young people. We have a youth leadership team, so this program was started by young people. They're kind of like our teenage bosses, I like to say. And so We developed the plan and there's about three main things that they focus on, which is academic achievement. So we work directly with the school, with their family to help address any kind of issues that they may be, going through in terms of their schooling. Personal professional development, so exposing them to things that they may have had roadblocks, preventing them from getting involved in, like different sports, hobbies, things like that. And then civic engagement. So we ask them to participate in these restorative justice circles to support other youth and also get involved in their communities in different ways. Sorry, I went a little bit over to talk all day about this program, but thank you all again.
Good evening, board. My name is Ruby Damian. I'm the executive director for Junior Achievement of Northern California. And I too want to say thank you for considering our request. Our Junior Achievement of Northern California was founded in 1950. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary next year. And we're one of 99 regions of JAUSA, along with JA Worldwide. We are preparing over 15 million students a year in financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. In San Mateo County, JA programs impacted 800 students in 2023-24. Our goal for 24-25, with your support, is to reach over 300 students in the San Bruno Cappuccino High School, of which 40% are considered high needs. Junior Achievement's mission is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy, and we prioritize programming for low-income youth. I just wanted to share a brief statement that was shared by one of our educators last year. So together with our educational partners, Junior Achieve makes learning relevant to every student's future by infusing authenticity, business connectivity, and real role models into everyday learning experience. One of the data science teachers at Cappuccino High School shared after we provided a JA career speaker. Given our limited resources for data science, I had students watch Moneyball to underscore the practical significance of data science. While the film is compelling, supplementing it with firsthand insights from Junior Achievement's guest speaker, Bill Schlau of the San Francisco Giants, provided invaluable. Many of my seniors, particularly those with a background in baseball, were beyond excited to learn from Mr. Schlau's journey and experience at the Giants. We aspire to foster more experiences and opportunities in the future. And one of the students shared, I found it very interesting that during Mr. Schlau's presentation, discussing his upbringing and connected it to how he always liked being around sports and playing sports at a very young age. I found a connection and can relate to what he said. I also appreciated learning that being around sports industry can lead you in many directions, even if you aren't sure what it is you want to do in your life. So thank you again for your consideration.
The next three are Legal Aid Society, Marine Science Institute, and the Mindful Life Project.
Good evening, board members. My name is David Carducci. I am the directing attorney for the Legal Aid Society of San Mateo County. We are the lawyers for the people. Appreciate the past support and hopefully the support this year for the services we provide to San Bruno residents to help us meet our mission of preventing homelessness by keeping people in their homes. I do a lot of these meetings with city councils and groups like yours. And I have to say, honestly, this is my favorite. The positive vibe here is great compared to some of the other ones. You've been there too. Where else can you get a round of applause after you speak or get to see funding bring the joy of the circus to town? A couple of weeks ago, I was at another one of these meetings, and a couple of speakers took some shots at attorneys, questioning whether attorneys should be funded by public money to help the poor. And the reason is simple. You can have all the tenant protection laws in the world, any civil rights laws, they're worthless if you don't have people to enforce those laws. But I also made the point that we will fight when we need to fight for tenants and low-income people, but we're about solutions, and we're always want to find a solution, work with the other side, work with the landlords, the property owners to do what we can to help keep people housed and prevent homelessness. One example of a San Bruno resident we helped this past year, she was living in an apartment complex. She was having mutual problems and disputes with a neighbor. And the landlord decided they had to do something about it. And what they decided to do was try to evict the woman who turned out to be our client, a single mother of a teenage kid in high school. When we looked into the case, it could have been one where we could have fought to keep her where she was in place, but it made more sense to work with this landlord, get her out of this situation, get her into a healthier situation. We worked with the landlord, we came up with a solution, a settlement, gave her some funding to go relocate to a new location. She had a Section 8 voucher. She was able to maintain that voucher instead of risk losing it. So we're about solutions. That's the point for everyone in the county and the residents of San Mateo County. The residents of San Bruno. Let me end with a couple sobering statistics. In 2019, there was about 1,120 eviction cases filed in San Mateo County. That was the last year before the pandemic started. 2023, that number went up to about 1,500, about 1,510. It was like a 35% increase in evictions. And this year it's about 10% increase from last year. And about 85% of those are for non-payment of rent. So just sobering facts that life is tough out there for people, low-income folks, working class people. They need help. And so thanks to you and thanks to everybody here for serving these folks. Thank you.
My name is Jody Stewart. I'm the Education Program Specialist at the Marine Science Institute. Thank you so much for your consideration in our proposal, and also thank you with deep gratitude for previous funding for us at the Marine Science Institute. Since 1970, the Marine Science Institute's program and mission is to provide students with hands-on, immersive access to San Francisco Bay habitats. We have hosted over 1.3 million Bay Area students since our beginning, and now average 56,000 students per year. With your funding, it will ensure that San Bruno students will have enriching, memorable experiences, gaining access to the natural world that may not be accessible on their own. My job as the Education Partnership Specialist is to connect schools that may not have the resources to find us and support teachers and students to gain access to our programs and access to their local communities. I hear anecdotes all the time from alumni of our programs. I remember going on the boat, we put mud on our face. Oh, I remember holding that crab, and it's things like that that just piece into their mind that they bring the next generation back to us to learn, to become stewards of their local environment. And we want to provide that for future generations. We value and appreciate the opportunity to bring these experiences to the very much deserving students in San Bruno. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Hi, my name is Allie Hopkins. I'm the Senior Director of Development at the Mindful Life Project. First of all, thank you so much for creating this space for us to present and for your consideration of our proposal and for your past support. Also, Jessica, thank you so much for your logistical help. I know I can't imagine writing emails and all of that, so thank you. And on a personal level, I want to echo my new peer from Legal Aid Society. I'm a recent transplant to California, and I have never felt such community joy and happiness in a room. So it's a very warm welcome. So thank you for all that you do. So Mindful Life Project provides mindfulness-based social emotional learning to kids ages 4 to 14 in transitional kindergarten through 8th grade. We have 2 core programs that are implemented by MLP trained coaches. So the coaches are not teachers in the school, but they are members and staff of MLP, and they're placed in schools and they become part of the school community. They're there full-time, in person, providing direct service. And our goal is for our coaches to live in the communities where they teach and they serve. So we have two core programs for our students. One is a tier 1 program. It's a whole school push-in program. And every student and every teacher has 25 minutes of mindfulness-based learning every week. And then our second program is called Rise Up, and it's a tier 2 program. So it's a pull-out program with small groups. And the students, it's a combination of, you know, very high-achieving students and students who have been identified with having higher need behavioral health, you know, needs. And they are combined, so it reduces the stigma, and nobody says, oh, you know, so-and-so's in this group because of that, but it's creating a full community. And Rise Up students participate in the whole school community program, and then have 2 additional sessions each week. We also provide teachers with voluntary mindfulness sessions weekly, present at staff meetings, and then hold various events and sessions for family members. So really talking intergenerational support. So a couple of quick outcomes from last year because of your support at Allen and Bel Air Elementaries. Of students, 88% reported an improvement in their mental health. 91% reported that MOP had a positive impact on relationships between students and teachers, and 94% reported that their classrooms are healthier learning environments. Among teachers, 100% reported an improvement in their mental health and a decrease in their stress levels. 100% reported a gain of quality teaching time of about 16 minutes per day. 100% reported an improvement in classroom culture and a healthier whole school climate. So just want to say thank you again for your past support and for your consideration of support this year. We will continue at Allen and Bel Air and reach about 1,000 students. Thank you so much.
Next group are Mission Hospice, Music for Minors, and Parkside Boosters.
I'm Christine Kovach. I'm the Bereavement Services Manager at Mission Hospice. Thank you all, the Foundation, for consideration again in supporting our free drop-in grief support group that meets right here at the San Bruno Senior Center. The Foundation's funding for 2024 allowed this important service to the San Bruno community to flourish, and we'll be honored to continue this program throughout 2025. For the last 45 years, Mission Hospice and Home Care has provided compassionate and dedicated end-of-life care, palliative care, and bereavement support to patients and their loved ones throughout the peninsula. Our devoted staff and highly trained volunteers provide comfort and dignity to patients at every stage of their advanced illness, as well as care and support to their loved ones. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on the generous support of donors in order to provide a wide array of bereavement services to the community. All of our support groups, workshops, and special bereavement events are free to attend and open to the public. We continue to see a high demand for our grief support offerings, serving both the families of our own patients as well as community members, folks who aren't connected to hospice care. We offer a variety of online and in-person support groups, including specialty groups for spouse loss, for loss due to suicide, a grief book club, expressive arts, and writing groups for loss. We offer safe spaces for the telling of the story of loss, to share memories, to gain insights into what to expect in grief, and to build a toolbox of support for coping with this life-altering experience of losing a loved one. We likely all know about the emotional toll that grief takes, but many grievers also struggle with loneliness and a fracture of social connections. There's often a longing for in-person connection. Since emerging from the pandemic, there are still very few in-person support group options around the whole Bay. So this special support group here that meets locally in person at the Senior Center fills this need for human connection as folks find their way after losing a loved one. The group has a regular following now. and has grown in size over the last year. And San Bruno residents, and as well as visitors from neighboring communities who will come to the senior center here, are welcome to join in this free monthly drop-in group. I know that our group facilitators, bereavement coordinator Delaney Wu, who's here this evening, and longtime hospice volunteer Patty Krupp, who lead the group here, are honored to continue their support to the San Bruno community. Thank you all again for your support of this important work, building community among those whose broken hearts are healing together.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the board and I thank the staff as well. I've been involved in nonprofit organizations for the last 20 years, serving on boards and also in leadership for nonprofit organizations. So thank you again for your service because I know the sacrifices you make on a personal basis. Music for Minors has been providing high quality music education to Bay Area elementary schools since 1976, almost 50 years now. We currently serve about 20,000 TK to 6th grade students in San Mateo County, Santa Clara County, and Contra Costa County. Nearly 50% of MFM's programs serve underfunded schools, often acting as the only source of music education. Over the past 3 years, MFM has served over 3,000 TK and 2nd grade students in the San Bruno Park School District. We're currently in 4 schools: Allen, Bel Air, John Muir, and Portola. This program provides 30 weeks of culturally relevant, standards-based music instruction that supports cognitive, social, and emotional development. 40% of the students in these schools come from socioeconomically disadvantaged households. What we're doing is ensuring equitable access to music education. This year's funding for request for $15,000 will help offset the $15,000 funding gap to maintain these programs in the San Bruno schools. Community support enables MFM to keep music education accessible while addressing funding gaps and increasing teacher retention through fair wages. Thank you for your consideration.
Hi, my name is Rowena Gomez. Can you hear me? Okay, great. My name is Rowena Gomez and I am a member of the Parkside Boosters. I want to first say what Parkside Boosters do and how we got to this proposal. For the Parkside Boosters, our mission, our commitment really is to support the students, the teachers, and the parents and the families to make sure that the students succeed, both academically and also personally. And when we say we want the students to succeed, we want all students to succeed, especially those who feel different in some way, and they don't necessarily feel like they belong at the school. And some of the events that happened last year was a part of that reason because where they did a protest and they didn't feel like they were being heard or being seen. And so we started this grant to celebrate their diversity, because being different shouldn't be something that should make you feel like an outsider. It should be something that should be celebrated. And that's how we started writing this grant. The other thing that we noticed, and which is also part of our mission, is we also want to support the students, not the students, we do want to support the students, but also the faculty and the leadership. And we noticed that the leadership has been changing almost every year for the past few years. And so the other thing that was very important for us is to work with our principal, Anna Sekis, to help us write the grant that you received through here. Again, she understood why we're doing it. It really is to build the community of Parkside and to have all students, especially those who feel different in many different ways, to know that that difference is celebrated and that they can be seen and that they will be heard. And so we decided to write a grant on having these diversity events. Some of these events include multicultural night, having a global cuisine night. That is my favorite. It'll be fun. You'll have different foods for different countries. Also a multicultural performing arts event. We're also thinking and hoping we can do stations where they learn arts and crafts from different parts of the countries, and we're going to integrate that as part of our Fun in the Sun, which is a student event that occurs at the end of the academic year. We can't necessarily, we're going to do our best to try to do as many as we can of these events, and we hope that even though it doesn't solve all the problems of Parkside, that it does continue to build the momentum that I really do believe that Parkside has in improving the pride of the Panthers of Parkside, and to know that we are invested in it. We see all the students and we invest. So thank you so much for investing, not just really in the Parkside boosters, but really in the Parkside students, faculty, and staff. Thank you.
Next up are PERCA, San Bruno Improvement Group, and San Bruno Alliance. PERCA.
Hi, good evening. My name is Diana Conti and I'm the CEO of PARCA. PARCA has been around in San Mateo County serving people with developmental disabilities since 1952. This grant is for our REACH childcare program that started in 1985 in San Bruno. We're currently located at the John Muir School. What's different about this childcare program is that it mixes students with special needs and students without special needs. And we also keep the parent fees as low as we possibly can so they can afford this. And so we keep it really, really affordable. And what we do is our staff ratio is 1 to 3. So that we can give extra attention to all the students that need it. And just to give you a little vignette for how the mix is, it's a wonderful mix for all the students, is we had a student from another part of the country, we moved here. And the mom was telling us how happy he is here. He just loves being here and he loves being at REACH. And she said he's never felt this way before. And people come up to him and they want to play with him. And they include him in things. And I said, well, what's different? And he said, he's accepted here. And both sides find out that differences are fun. Differences are interesting. There's nothing to be, it's not odd. It's just different and it's fun and it makes that whole culture change. And so that's kind of the heart of what this program was designed to do. And the grant funding helps us keep the fees affordable. It helps us enhance our programs, especially the summer camp program, so that we can go places that we can afford to, that don't have to just be free places. And so it's really good opportunities for the children to experience that. It helps us keep our staff, which, you know, they're just absolutely wonderful people, and we have to make sure they can afford to live here. And we honestly feel very blessed to be part of the San Bruno community. You've always been so welcoming, and we love being here, and we love the families that we serve, and we really do feel very blessed to be able to work with people who are neurologically diverse, developmentally disabled, or have any other kind of thing that doesn't look like the norm. It's not just helping them, it's rejoicing in their accomplishments and celebrating who they are. So thank you so much for your support.
Good evening, esteemed members of the San Bruno Community Foundation, honored guests, and fellow community members. My name is Sedena Traxler. I am the president of the San Bruno Improvement Group. It is an honor to stand before you today on behalf of the San Bruno Improvement Group. We are a dedicated team of local business owners and community members committed to revitalizing downtown San Bruno, a place where joy and connection can thrive. At our events, we feel this connection, we see it with our own eyes, It's the smile on a child's face as they meet the Easter Bunny. It's the laughter of families strolling downtown during a trick or treat event. It's the firm handshake and words of encouragement from a neighbor who just found a sense of community they've been missing. These are the moments that remind us of why we do the work that we do. We are humble and grateful should we receive this grant, knowing that it comes from a fund created to help heal and rebuild our community after a devastating tragedy. We are honored to be part of this, of continuing that legacy by bringing light and joy to San Bruno through meaningful community connections and events. As business owners, we walk into our stores every day, we stare outside our windows, and we yearn for so much more. We envision a downtown bustling with life, people exploring shops, families enjoying events, and neighbors reconnecting. We're not just here for today. We've signed leases and we've planted roots. We're here for the long haul. And because of that, we are deeply committed to making downtown the vibrant and thriving place we know it can be. Events, we believe, are the driving force to bring people downtown and turn that vision into a reality. Over the years, we've worked tirelessly to create events that bring our community together, including the Trick or Treat event, which grows every year, our holiday food drive, our kids art on the Ave, and the Easter egg stroll. And for the first time this year, we partnered with the San Bruno Police Department and hosted the National Night Out event. These events are often funded from our own pockets, which has inspired us to form the 501c3 nonprofit, allowing us to apply for grants like this one. While we've been fortunate to contribute personally, this approach is not sustainable for us. To truly build a vibrant downtown, we need the support of donors like your foundation. With this grant, we can elevate our event and expand our impact. We believe in the potential of downtown San Bruno and are committed to turning that vision into a reality together. So thank you for investing in us, for helping us honor this legacy, and for bringing more light and vitality to downtown San Bruno. Thank you.
Community Foundation. My name is Connie Fernandez, and I'm the current president of the San Bruno Lions. And I would like to express our club's gratitude for your grant consideration. We're very thankful for your support, which will enable us to continue our mission at Bel Air School with the second harvest. We have needed a storage unit to hold the equipment that helps the Lions to distribute the food to the community. And we thank you very much. The San Bruno Lions are part of the Lions Clubs International, the world's largest service club organization. Our primary focus is on serving those in need, particularly in areas such as vision care, youth programs, and community service projects. We believe in making a positive impact with our community, and this grant will help us enhance our initiatives and reach even more individuals and families. Thank you very much.
Next up are the San Mateo County Community College District, Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and Society of West Coast Artists.
Good evening, I'm Leah McLaughlin, the director of the Bay Area Entrepreneurship centered in downtown San Bruno, part of Skyline College. And I just want to say thank you to this board for continuing to support this program that I created when I took over the center 2 years ago. I did a needs exploration and talked to some of our business owners here and discovered that business owners wanted from the center more support with the district as a whole. I also explored what students need from the center, and a lot of them need professional experience. Our students are primarily the first of their family to go to college, and as somebody who is the same, I know that a college degree is not enough. Students need good work experience to put on their resumes to be competitive in the Bay Area with this job market. So I created a program where students basically act as consultants. They come in and they tackle a problem, a project, an issue that the community is facing. So far, we've been focusing on economic revitalization for our downtowns. And then they create a project, they do some research, they really explore the issue, they get inspiration from professionals, they talk to potential clients, and then they design a project based on that research that can address that situation and create change. Jim Ruin came this spring and witnessed our students pitching their ideas to community members. So they get a live experience acting as those consultants, pitching ideas, putting proposals together, and then implementing them. And at the end of the project, they have something that they can put on their resume that they were not just a cashier at a retail shop, but they were professionals, that they made an impact in their community. And then that community gets those projects that they can use to help further it. We're expanding past economic development. This semester, we have a group of students working on education and media around climate resiliency to really inform the local residents on the need for that. I'll put a call out to all these amazing organizations here. We take on a couple projects every semester. If you need a group of students to think through and help your organization, contact me. We're here to help out the community and get these students that experience they need. So thank you again so much and have a great night.
Hello, good evening. I'm Ginny Morans, and I'm here on behalf of Society of St. Vincent de Paul of San Mateo County. First off, I wanted to thank you for the past support that we've received. It all goes directly into services, safety net services for residents of San Bruno. As the Legal Aid Society mentioned earlier, demand for assistance with rental, making rent payments, food assistance has continued to climb since the end of the pandemic. And in fact, it's up again this year, more than the jump from before. So our call volume to our help center for food and rent assistance is up 71% since the beginning of the pandemic. We averaged 600 calls a month pre-pandemic. And we are now averaging over 1,000 calls a month. And since July of this year, we saw another 26% increase in our call volume. So in October, we had an all-time record high of 1,221 calls. That is countywide, but that's for food, rent, and utility assistance. In San Bruno last year, or so far this year, so probably for this year, so we're almost to the end, we've provided $11,150 in rental assistance to families, representing 16 individuals, of which 7 were children. That means we provided 1 month of rental assistance to keep them in their homes. We also, as a part of that process, our volunteers visit and bring groceries and assess the family for additional needs. When people are frightened that they're going to be evicted, that's all they're worried about. When you get there and they don't have beds, their children are in outgrown clothes or summer clothes and it's winter. So there's a lot of services and support that we can provide with that. Also very important financial assistance. Also, in addition to rental assistance, we've provided almost $15,000 in groceries and grocery store gift cards to San Bruno families, 159 families, totaling 446 people, of which 239 were children. And I've heard so many times tonight, different groups. We partner with Second Harvest. We also provide grocery store gift cards that we buy for the residents. But how wonderful that there's all these groups doing this, but how sad that there's all these groups that are doing this, have to do this to keep people fed and housed. So we truly appreciate your consideration this year and all of your past support. It truly makes a difference in our community's lives. Thank you.
name is Sharon Harris, and I'm here representing the Society of West Coast Artists. We're a small nonprofit art association dedicated to educating people on the arts, two-dimensional arts, so painting, drawing, that sort of thing. We were established originally in California in 1950, so we've been around a while. And we are currently headquartered in San Bruno, where we have a nice gallery downtown. We really appreciate in the past you've given us grants that allowed us to have an art show for Skyline College students. And that gives us a greater connection to the Skyline College and the San Bruno, it's located in San Bruno. So the 2 times you've given us a grant also established us and gave us an opportunity to apply for a grant from the state of California when they had COVID relief funds for art groups. So that allowed us to have 2 more years of Skyline College shows, including this year, which is going on right now until January 10th. So make it downtown and come see the students' art. We really appreciate that you're considering this because this is going to allow us another year of supporting the Skyline College students in their art. So that's about it. Thank you.
Next up are Sonrisa's Dental Health, Spindrift School Performing Arts, and Via Her Project.
Good evening, board. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be one out of the 29 finalists that you're looking at and taking an action item. I'm a San Bruno resident since 1968. I'm currently on the board for the Sonrisa's Dental Health Incorporated, which was established in 2001 in Half Moon Bay to address the farm workers' dental health as well as low socioeconomic groups. And has been supported by now moving to San Mateo with the support of the Peninsula Healthcare District, which I'm also on the board of directors of that organization that also looks at 6 cities, including San Bruno. And so it's an honor to know that the impact that you will have by providing this additional funding to support. Last year, there was 234 low socioeconomic adults that received dental health care and establish a dental home. And what that means is that you have 2 or more visits. There was over 651 visits in the course of 1 year to establish good oral health, which is critical. That's going to affect the rest of the human body and an impact on the quality of their lives. So this amount is going to have a great impact and restore or to overcome the barriers that people have access to healthcare, including dental health, which is critical. And thank you very much and support your hard work and to the others being considered tonight for the honor. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Rinos, and I am the president of the board at Spindrift School of Performing Arts. I can't even tell you how excited I am to be here having this conversation with you. So 8 years ago, I was looking for performing arts in San Bruno. This is where we're from. I've got 3 kids of my own, and I grew up on stage and doing music and all of the things performing arts related. And there was nothing in San Bruno that was available for my kids. So I called around and I found Spindrift School. They're, we call them our little school in the woods. They're located in Pacifica, right off the beach and into the woods. So what started for them as a few kids taking private lessons has now blossomed into an organization that reaches probably 4,000 students across multiple cities and multiple districts. So I started over there 8 years ago with my kids, and we were there every day. We're still there every day. So I eventually joined the board a few years ago. And as I got to know the intricacies of the organization and all of the amazing things that they do, they serve kids from 0 to 18, and now we're starting an entrepreneurial mentorship program for kids 18 to 24. So we've got dance and music and theater and musical theater, private lessons, And in the last year and two, we've started reaching out to different schools and school districts to bring arts education into the schools themselves. So this is where I found the connection so exciting in order to have San Bruno have the same opportunities that I have driven over the hill for the last 8 years. I was able to introduce the Spindrift to the San Bruno Park School District and have a conversation with the superintendent of the district and make the connection to say, hey, this is who Spindrift is, and is it possible to have Spindrift come and do some programming? And everybody was very excited. We're in our second year now of offering performing arts and classes to not only the elementary schools, but also at Parkside, which has been instrumental in giving students not just opportunities to be part of performing arts, but it gives kids a safe space, which I've heard other people talk about tonight, to find their identity, to find people that are like them. And oftentimes they find their best friends because they are like-mindedness in these performing arts opportunities. So we have been doing 2 show-in-a-boxes for the elementary schools, and same with Parkside. So if you want to come and see what we do, we'll actually be doing Matilda for the younger kids and Addams Family for the middle school kids next semester. And this particular grant is to enhance the programming. So the programs are in place, and now we're bringing more technical theater. So it's for kids who also want to be involved behind the stage. So we'll literally be bringing professional lighting to these performances so that they can light up the stage for the students and the audiences and bring together the San Bruno community. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time and the consideration for this grant. It means a lot to a lot of kids. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Erica Lyons. I represent the Out Heart Project. Not only am I a CPR instructor for them, I'm also a volunteer, and I've been with the organization now for almost 10 years. Thank you. We are grateful that you have once again decided to invite us into Parkside Elementary to teach hands-only CPR and how to use one of these. If any of you have ever been curious about what is an automated external defibrillator, it looks like this. And I demonstrate these several times a week. It's really powerful to work with these kids. Next year, we will teach upwards of 500 kids between the 7th and 8th grades at Parkside. I invite you all to come. It's really fun. We get the San Bruno Fire Department to come as well. And love seeing the collaboration with the kids. I love answering their questions after class. That's how I know that we're really reaching them, especially if I'll get the occasional kid that comes up and asks a very mindful, thoughtful question. And it always hits me in the back of my head, what if contact with one of these firefighters or just hands on a mannequin leads someone into a career in the medical field, no matter what it is. So we just don't know what the impact of that will be come the future, but we'd love to give that opportunity. So we will be teaching hands-only CPR and how to use that defibrillator. And what's powerful is after those 2 days, there will be 500 more people within San Bruno community that can save a life. And that's very powerful. So thank you for allowing us back in again. And I look forward to seeing you all sometime in the spring. Thank you.
We have Wings Learning Center and the YMCA.
Good evening, my name is Ken Foran. I'm an advisor to Wings Learning Center, and thank you for considering our proposal. Wings was founded in 2001. We are a nonprofit provider of transformative, robust, and individualized education programs and services to help people with moderate to severe autism become as independent as they possibly can be across their life spans. We relocated to San Bruno from Redwood City. We're entering our 2nd year. We're at the Rollingwood School, and we're blessed to be at that school. We are proud that we've enrolled our first 2 San Bruno students, and we have more on the waiting list. challenges finding special education teachers and specialists and aides. So if anybody knows anybody, we're hiring. The San Bruno community has been terrific, so welcoming, and we're excited about scaling and further promoting our programs. This grant will enable the continuation of Wing's proven music therapy program, and will enable us to expand through quarterly music events for autistic kids and their families in the community. Key component of the Wings curriculum, the music program falls outside of the scope of school district funding, and it's an expense offset by fundraising donations and the generosity of foundations like yours. Autistic individuals and their caregivers are faced with numerous challenges, including social isolation, bullying, financial hardship, and mental health challenges. And there's a lack of community building events similar to what we're doing. The goal is to use special education programs like music that reduce stress and anxiety levels, build self-esteem, and enable students to express musical preferences. It's so important to get our kids out in the community. That's what we intend to do. And based on Wing's 20 years of running a successful music therapy program, we're confident that it will bring joy and opportunities for meaningful and social interactions with the San Bruno community. We thank you for your consideration on behalf of our staff, our students, our families, and our volunteers. Thank you.
Last but not least. Good evening. Thank you all. First of all, it's an honor to be here with you all and to hear everybody's stories. I'm thrilled to be part of, that wanted to be part of this group. My name is Carol Eggers. I'm the Director of Institutional Giving for the YMCA Community Resource Center. We are one of the core agencies, and we're the core agency for South San Francisco, Brisbane, and San Bruno. Our main site is in South City, but we want to be able, and of course we already serve a lot of San Bruno residents, but we wanted to have a presence here. We knew that we could provide better service to the residents and better serve the residents. So we've started a partnership with Bel Air Elementary School this fall, and we have a satellite there where we're able to provide case management twice a month, monthly workshops, and parent groups. And in fact, our case manager, Griselda Erazo, is here today. She's the one who's doing the work, right? She and her team are the ones that are doing the work. And you all have already heard about the increased need and demand for, our services, unfortunately, through, what our patriots at Legal Aid and St. Vincent de Paul have talked about. And so to be able to better serve them, we're happy to be here. We're really happy to be here. It will allow us to better serve the residents. And this request to you all, which you're considering, which we're really happy that we've in this place, will help us provide more material things like grocery store gift cards, transportation passes, diapers to all the families in need, as well as help support additional case management to assist Griselda in being able to provide more flexible and deeper case management for the folks of San Bruno. So we're excited to be able to have this opportunity to enhance our services here at San Bruno. And thank you all so much. And thank you all.
Okay, we've got 3 online representatives from Homeward, Second Harvest, and Stir Vista, and I'm going to bring you guys in. So Zach, I'm bringing you in. Great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Zach Clark. I'm the founder and executive director of the Homeware Project. I really apologize for not being in person. I had to be in Los Angeles this week, but I'm normally back and forth between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Really excited to be here and thankful for your consideration. So our program that we operate is a backpack program for people experiencing unsheltered homelessness. 2 years ago, I designed a hard shell solar powered backpack specifically designed for people who are unhoused. And so we're really excited about this opportunity and kindly requesting a $5,000 grant to distribute 50 of those packs in the San Bruno community. If you want to check us out, the pack is called the Makeshift Traveler. I have one here, but for the sake of the Zoom stuff, I won't show you, but it's a really great, robust, and great backpack, and we're really excited to be in the community. So thanks for the opportunity.
You're up. You want to just unmute yourself?
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Terrell Jackson. I am a grant writer for Second Harvest of Silicon Valley. Just want to thank the San Bruno Community Foundation for considering a $10,000 grant to Second Harvest. If approved, 100% of this valuable grant will be used to purchase fresh produce, healthy proteins, and plentiful healthy grains that we will distribute free of cost to low-income residents who participate in our various food distribution programs in collaboration with our agency partners in San Bruno. Grant funds will particularly enable us to serve 20,000 meals over the next year, increasing access to nutritious foods and helping to alleviate food insecurity for our neighbors in need. Just want to thank you again for your consideration of this grant and just thank you for the past support that you've given to Second Harvest.
Hello, my name is Tara Metcalf Gonzalez. I use they, she, ella pronouns. I am a program manager of the Early Childhood Services program at Star Vista. Thank you so much for your consideration. We are really excited about this opportunity. If funds are awarded, what our program would do is create a series of 8 workshops. These workshops are targeted to serve both families and providers who take care of children 0 to 5. We're really looking at not only treatment when things are going challenging with families and children, but also preventative work. We really want to reduce overall toxic stress. We want to give children the best opportunities to succeed and thrive with their families. And so for these workshops, 4 of them would be run by a local community worker who is already generally working with families in the San Bruno area, has very knowledgeable about the local resources, like many of the ones we've heard tonight, and would be able to connect them during these workshops to further resources. But these workshops would be targeted for children and families in the area to do play-based exercises to increase their connection, to support self-care of the caregivers. We really want to promote that long-term bonding and connection through play and reduce that overall stress so they can go on to thrive and have more capacity to do the things that they want to do as a family and access those needed resources. Then the other 4 workshops would be run by our early childhood mental health consultants who are trained and licensed therapists, and they are already connected with many preschools and daycares in San Bruno. And this would allow them to have specialized workshops for the providers in the daycares and preschools, as well as the families, to help them connect over some of the themes we've heard come out of a lot of the schools and a lot of the families in San Bruno, such as particularly challenging behaviors or things that are difficult to kind of figure out how best to support the child on. So it's really specialized work to get the families and the providers together to support them and think about all the needs of the child, what they need, reduce their stress overall, and really look for the best possible outcomes. These workshops would be available in English and Spanish, and we really appreciate your consideration. Thanks so much.
I think that's everyone. Did we miss anybody?
So we'd like to thank all of the organizational representatives for coming this evening. It is so helpful and informative for us to hear directly from you about your programs and the impact that you're having in our community. Thank you for the incredibly important work that you're doing. As someone who comes from the nonprofit sector, both as a volunteer and as leadership, it's really great to see all of you here. I love this model where you're able to come and speak in front of decision makers who could impact your budgets, whether big or small, but certainly to help fortify your very important missions that you all have, that you're helping to provide for the city of San Bruno. So I really appreciate that. Are there any questions from the board? No? No? Are there any questions from the public? Any online? So if there are no other further comments or discussion from the board members, before we get to the resolution of approving the community grants, the board needs to address the disclosure of a financial interest by the executive director. As mentioned in the board meeting packet, the board must determine whether the 3 proposed grants to the city of San Bruno under consideration at tonight's meeting, a $16,500 community grant for the library summer reading program, a 3.4 million strategic grant for phase 1 of Pressmore Fields project, which will be discussed in agenda item 8B, and a 34,000 strategic grant for the San Bruno Narita Sister City program, which will be discussed in agenda item 8C. Present a conflict of interest under the nonprofit and exempt entity laws in accordance with the foundation's conflict of interest policy. Heather, would you please provide a background on the issue for the board?
Thank you. I'm Heather Minner, legal counsel for the Community Foundation. And the Community Foundation has a conflict of interest policy to make sure that we're being transparent about everyone's financial interests and that there's an opportunity to consider that and whether it poses a conflict of interest for potential grants. And the executive director has complied with this policy by informing the president and the board that her son has a part-time paid internship at the city of San Bruno's city manager's office, which as somebody who serves public agencies, I think is commendable. It's something to be proud of. But it does mean that she has a financial interest in this grants to the city through her son's paid internship. And so the board considered this internship at its August meeting for the RAC startup programming grants to the city and determined that it did not present conflicts of interest based on advice from myself and the board's nonprofit legal counsel. And I have considered the facts here, which considers 3 additional grants on the agenda for this meeting. So the board will need to make an additional determination for those grants, but before it does so, the conflict of interest policy provides a procedure to ask any questions of the executive director regarding her financial interest, and this is your opportunity to do so, and then she will leave the room and you can discuss the matter further and make a determination. Are there any questions from the board for Leslie, for the executive director? No? Okay. Do you mind? So the analysis is the same as was presented to the board in August, that this doesn't present a conflict of interest. And to be clear, just because there's a financial interest, that doesn't mean there's a conflict of interest. It just means it's something that you need to disclose and consider. And we've determined that under public agency laws, there's not a conflict of interest because the executive director's son will not be financially benefited from these grants. The assistant city manager has confirmed that he did not work on these programs that are being requested grant funds and was not involved in the grant proposals, and that work and benefits he receives is at the city does not depend on whether or not the foundation gives any grants to the city. And we will also be including, these grants will be made on the standard grant forms that the foundation uses, and will include a provision that none of the funds shall be used to benefit any family members of the foundation board members. So my recommendation is that the board find that there is not a conflict of interest under public entity and tax exempt laws for the 3 grants considered for the community to the city today.
Are there any questions from the board? Okay. Are there any questions from the public regarding this item? Heather, do you know if anybody online has a question?
No.
The board has heard the facts and legal analysis of the foundation's lawyer, concluding that 3 proposed grants to the city do not constitute a conflict of interest. May I have a motion determining that the proposed community grants, Crestmore Fields Project Strategic Grant, and San Bruno Narita Sister City Program Strategic Grant to the city of San Bruno do not present a conflict of interest under nonprofit and exempt entity laws in accordance with the foundation's conflict interest policy?
Second.
Okay. I'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez. Wait, 1 second. Yes, Secretary Gomez will do roll call vote.
Thank you, Melissa. Board Member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board Member Supriya Perry.
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Glenn.
Aye.
Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruing. Aye. And President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will let your executive director come back in.
Thank you. Don't worry, y'all are next. Let her come back in. Okay. Now, may I have a motion to adopt the resolution awarding 2024-2025 community grants totaling 300,000 as set forth in Exhibit A?
So
Sorry.
Second that, I'll second.
Okay, Raul, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Board Member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board Member Supriya Perry.
Aye.
Treasurer Pat Glenn.
Aye.
Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruing. Aye. And President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Congratulations. Congratulations to the grant recipients and thank you for your projects and programs that touch the lives of so many in San Bruno. We welcome all of our grantees to stay for the rest of the meeting if you'd like. Learn more about our great initiatives that we have moving, but we also know that you all are very busy and in the nonprofit sector, I know you're busy. So at this time, we'll take a brief pause before continuing the meeting so that some of you can depart for the evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. We'll now resume. I want to just quickly acknowledge that board member Supriya Perry had to leave. And so I just want to put that on notice. Moving on to item B, receive report from the ad hoc committee on Crestmore Fields project and adoption resolution approving strategic grant supporting phase 1 of the Crestmore Fields project to the city of San Bruno in the amount not to exceed $3,400,000. That's how much it is. And as chair of the ad hoc committee on Crestmore Fields project, Vice President Ruane will give the report.
All right, thank you. I feel like I'm sitting in the hole.
Pull it up,
I tried.
the lever up, not down.
I think it's broken. Once it goes up, it goes straight down.
Whoa.
You push it down. There we go. Okay. All right. I've had the pleasure of serving in the ad hoc committee on the Crestmore Fields project, and I thank Secretary Gomez and Treasurer Lynn for their service on the committee. The committee was created in November after the board received a report from the San Bruno Assistant City Manager Darcy Smith on the Crestmore Fields project. The committee is charged with researching and considering ways in which the foundation could support the Crestmore Fields project and, as appropriate, return to the board with a possible strategic grant-making proposal to support such efforts. At the November board meeting, Assistant City Manager Smith gave a very thorough presentation on the city's plans to develop a 5.3 acre portion of the former Crestmore High School site into artificially turfed athletic fields to be primarily used by San Bruno-based youth soccer organizations. To briefly recap, the San Mateo Union High School District is nearing the completion of the sale of the school site to a developer, which has obtained entitlement approvals to develop a new subdivision of single-family homes. As part of the deal, the city is receiving a land dedication totaling 6.9 acres, including 5.3 acres for recreational athletic fields. With extensive input from the community, the city developed the Crestmore Fields Multi-Use Master Plan Project, which the City Council approved in October of 2023. The developer has offered to construct the fields for the city as part of the development project, and the city is interested in entering an improvement agreement with the developer as the most efficient, expeditious, and cost-effective method for completing the initial construction phase of the Crestmore Field project. This is phase one of the project, which includes the essential field construction and infrastructure, and is estimated to cost $7 million. The city is willing to allocate $3.6 million in development impact fee credits for the development project on the site to the phase one construction of the athletic fields, and emphasizing a short timeline for committing to the field's construction. The city has requested $3.4 million in grant funding from the foundation to complete phase one. Further site improvements, including permanent lighting, which is estimated to cost around $2 million, could be added in subsequent phases if and when additional funding is available. At our November meeting, a number of community members spoke in favor of the project, stressing the importance of the fields to San Bruno's youth soccer community, the loss for the entire community if the fields are not built, and the need for permanent lighting to accommodate all of the teams seeking to practice and play games on the smaller footprint of the new fields. Immediately following the board meeting, the city submitted a written grant proposal requesting $3.4 million in strategic grant funding for phase one of the Crestmore Fields project. The committee then met to discuss the city's request and consider the input received from the soccer community representatives. All committee members voiced support for the funding request, noted the importance of taking advantage of both the San Mateo Union High School District's conveyance of the 5.3 acres to the city to preserve soccer fields on the site, and the developer's willingness to construct the fields for the city as part of its housing development. The committee also recognized the tremendous benefits of the fields for the many children who play soccer in San Bruno, for the broader San Bruno community. The committee is now recommending that the full board award a strategic grant of up to $3.4 million to the city of San Bruno for phase one of the Crestmore Fields project. In addition, the committee discussed the possibility of also funding permanent lighting at the fields, noting that permanent lighting would significantly enhance the facility, allowing for increased utilization of the fields, and that it would be difficult for the city or the soccer organizations to secure the necessary funding for their installation. At the same time, the committee acknowledges that an additional estimated $2 million for the lighting would be a meaningful portion of the foundation's remaining net assets and should be considered only after receiving more detailed information about the cost and benefits and after the board has continued its strategic planning deliberations. Committee recommends that the board request that the city and the developer include permanent lighting as an add alternate when drafting the construction bid documents in order to obtain a more accurate cost estimate. And the committee seeks from the city further information on the project timeline, in particular, the timing of when a final decision on the permanent lighting needs to be made as part of phase one. Delaying consideration of additional grant funding for permanent lighting to at least mid-2025 would enable the board to weigh this option in the context of other uses of the remaining restitution funds to be discussed during our strategic planning process. Assistant City Manager Smith is here with us tonight, and I'd like to thank her and her colleagues at the city for shepherding this project and addressing the committee's questions. Both she and the committee are available to answer any questions board members may have about phase one of the Crestmore Fields project and this recommended grant to the city. That's my report.
Thank you, Jen. Are there any questions from the board? Darcy, did you want to add anything?
No, but hi, Kirsten Smith, Assistant City Manager. I'll just add that we're thrilled to be considered for this grant and that all the information I presented last month still remains valid. And we're working every day with the developer to move the project forward. And they're anticipated to close on the property, as they said, in February, and that date appears to be sticky. And so, yeah, we're really excited to move this forward.
Okay, great.
Were there any questions online, Leslie, for this item?
We received a public comment from David Nigel just saying he is in support of the proposal.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Before we vote on the resolution, I want to remind the board that the agenda item 8A, the board determined that the proposed Crestmore Fields project strategic grant to the city of San Bruno does not present a conflict of interest under nonprofit and exempt entity laws in accordance with the foundation's conflict of interest policy. Therefore, we will now move on the resolution before the board.
Do we want to see if there's any public comment from?
I apologize. Are there any public comments regarding this item? Yes, please, sorry.
I apologize, I didn't fill out a comment. Hello, board. You might recognize me, but I'm actually not here in a professional capacity. My name is Kristen Sun. I have been a resident of San Bruno since 2009, and I was a resident during the tragedy that led to the formation of this organization. I'm here as a private resident just to express my support of this grant. I have 3 children, 2 of which, the older ones, are on Crestmore Fields 5 to 6 days a week. So we're there all the time, and they're very much ingrained in the soccer community. And I have a little one who, with the approval of this grant, I hope will be able to play on this new field when she is of age to join a team. So I just wanted to express my support and thanks for the consideration for this grant.
Any other?
Hi, Rich Bird. I just want to thank you. I know you've spent a lot of time. We sat here listening to all those people, and it's great all these people volunteer. And I don't want to say people start this week, but thank you for your time, okay? Because it's a lot of work and it's a thankless job, but I just want to thank you personally, okay? Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, may I have a motion to adopt the resolution approving a strategic grant supporting phase 1 of Crestmore Fields project to the city of San Bruno in the amount not to exceed $3,400,000?
So moved.
Second.
Great, I'll turn it over to you, Secretary Gomez.
Thank you. Board member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board member Supriya Perry is excused. Treasurer Pat Lynn.
Aye.
Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruane.
Aye.
President Melissa Natani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
Okay, this concludes this item. Darcy, we look forward to continue working with you in the city on this important project for San Bruno.
Thank you.
Item C, receive report from ad hoc committee on the San Bruno Narita Sister City Program and adopt resolution approving strategic grant supporting the San Bruno Narita Sister City Program to the city of San Bruno and the San Bruno Education Foundation totaling an amount not to exceed $109,000. As chair of the ad hoc committee, I will make this report. Since 1990, San Bruno has had a sister city relationship with Narita, Japan. A key feature of the relationship has been an annual exchange program through which delegations of middle school students and city representatives visit the other town. The program took a pause during the pandemic, and in September of 2023, after the city of San Bruno and the San Bruno Park School District began making plans to rejuvenate San Bruno's sister city relationship with Narita, the foundation created an ad hoc committee on the San Bruno Narita Sister City Program, charged with researching and considering ways in which the foundation could support San Bruno's sister city relationship and Narita, and as appropriate, return the board with a possible strategic grant-making proposal to support such efforts. In late October, the City of San Bruno Park District and San Bruno Education Fund, as the school district's fundraising partner, submitted a grant proposal related to the San Bruno Narita Sister City relationship. The committee met in early November to review the proposal, sending back comments and questions. The city school district education fund responded with an updated proposal and met with the committee in mid-November. In just a moment, representatives from the city and the education fund will provide more detail on the proposed grant, but let me briefly provide some of the highlights. The funding request is for a total of $109,000 over 3 years, with $34,000 for the city to help underwrite expenses related to hosting the Japanese delegation when it visits in March, and related to sending a city delegation leader to Narita in July. $60,000 to the educational fund for the benefit of the school district to support their role in the relationship, including subsidizing the travel expenses of the Parkside students selected to visit Narita in order to increase access to the opportunity to all interested Parkside 8th grade students, regardless of their family's ability to afford the trip. And $15,000 to the education fund to be used for sustainability purposes. That is to enable the city school district and education fund to develop a sponsorship program to fundraise for the Sister City program so that the entities are able to sustain an appropriate level of funding once the foundation funding sunsets. I'd like to welcome San Bruno Library Service Manager, Sarah Jawi. I apologize if I missaid that. And San Bruno Education Foundation, Heather Lanta, to give the background on this proposed grant and an overview on what the grant, if approved, will fund. Sarah and Heather.
Me, President Natani Jones, Vice President Wayne, and members of the board.
Can you speak up a little to get on the mic?
Oh, sure. I'm Sarah Jolly, the Library Services Manager for the City of San Bruno. Presenting with me also today is Heather Lata, the President of the San Bruno Education Foundation. On the next slide, we will give an overview of our request to the board this evening. The City of San Bruno and the San Bruno Park School District, as partners in the Narita Sister City Exchange Program and with support from the San Bruno Education Foundation, are seeking $109,000 over 3 years from the San Bruno Community Foundation to support a sustainable approach to this program. On the next slide, we'll go over a brief summary of the history of our Sister City relationship. The City of San Bruno established a Sister City Cultural Exchange Program in 1990. The Culture Exchange Program promotes greater participation in an international dialogue and strengthens mutual understanding and respect between the two cities. Traditionally, each year, Narita sends a delegation to San Bruno in March, and San Bruno sends a delegation to Narita in July. The delegation usually consists of 8 to 10 students and 2 staff members from Parkside Middle School and 1 staff member from the City of San Bruno. Travel for this program stopped in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. After the pandemic, city staff contacted Narita City and the Narita Friendship Society to relaunch the program. In 2023, San Bruno sent an adult delegation to Narita with the intention that future delegation visits would also include the youth exchange aspect of the program. In March of 2024, Narita sent the first full delegation, including 10 middle school students, to San Bruno. And this past July, San Bruno sent its first full adult and student delegation to Narita since the pandemic. On the next slide, I'll discuss the current need for funding from the Community Foundation. Before the pandemic, the Narita program was supported by local donors, but that funding model no longer is in place. In recent years, the city and the school district have had to cover the costs, relying on budgets that are either stretched thin or are already exhausted. Now, with the help of a Community Foundation grant, the City of San Bruno aims to rebuild a network of local supporters to fund the program each year, creating a more sustainable future. The City of San Bruno is requesting $34,000 from the foundation over the 3-year grant period. The amount requested by the City of San Bruno will cover expenses related to city-provided transportation, meals, gifts, and all other costs associated with hosting the delegation in March. The funding will also cover city expenses for sending the San Bruno delegation to Narita in July. The majority of the city costs for the San Bruno delegates visit in July include the city representative's flight to Japan, accommodations, and gifts for the Narita staff, volunteers, and elected officials who host our delegation. The total amount of grant funds that the city is requesting for each year will decrease as program costs will be offset by future sponsorships.
In addition, the school district is requesting $60,000 in grant funding over the 3 years to be provided through the Education Foundation. Similar to the city's portion of the proposal, that amount would decrease each year as the sustainability portion of the grant grows. So the first year would be $25,000 and it would decrease each year from that. In addition, the district's costs would be supplemented by student fees as each participating student would be paying $500 to participate. Overall district costs include, similar to the city, both expenses for hosting the Narita delegation here in March and also traveling to Narita in July each year. So for the expenses when the delegation is in San Bruno, those include for the school district a welcome dinner for host families, and also for the Narita delegation, a dinner for the adult delegation and district leaders, a welcome breakfast at Parkside, and also a Narita delegate lunch at Parkside. In terms of the expenses for the trip to Narita, a lot of that is the flight cost for the 10 students and 2 chaperones, but also there are hotel stays for the 2 chaperones throughout the trip and for the first night for the students before they start their home stays. Now Sarah will talk about to the next slide.
So the benefit to the community from our relationship exchange program. The Narita Exchange Program is designed to promote cultural exchange and build international friendships by bringing together people from different backgrounds. Over 6 days, participants engage in receptions, official functions, and ceremonies, discovering common goals despite language barriers. Hosting the Narita delegation allows San Bruno to return the warm hospitality and respect they received during their visits to Narita, further strengthening the bond between the 2 cities.
For the San Bruno students who participate, the program provides those students with the chance to experience international exchange, but also to share that experience with their families and with their peers and the community. It also helps form lasting friendships and continued engagement. The schedule for the Narita delegation's time in San Bruno also includes time for the broader Parkside community to meet the delegation, learn about Narita, and learn about Japanese culture. In addition, the student participants share information with their peers after they return from their trip in July, which enhances the cultural awareness of the overall student body.
So going forward, to enhance community engagement with the sister city relationship, the city will host a special program at the newly renovated Centennial Plaza, showcasing a performer blending Japanese tradition and culture. This past March, the city hosted a taiko drumming performer on a weekday morning in Narita Plaza. And while the event was very successful, students were unable to attend. Next year's program will be held in the afternoon, which will make it easier for more people to attend and will involve the Parkside community and local businesses as well. The city plans to promote the event and encourage school participation to foster community involvement. Additionally, leading up to the Narita delegation's visit, the city will explore other public programs such as ikebana flower arranging, a martial arts demonstration, and origami crafting to raise awareness of the Sister City Exchange. These activities will not only celebrate Japanese culture, but also explicitly highlight the Sister City connection. The city and school district also plan to share insights from their trips to Narita each year, deepening the community's understanding of the exchange. On the next slide, Heather will discuss the plan for our use of sustainability funds.
To ensure the long-term sustainability of this Sister City Exchange program, the city, the school district, and the San Bruno Education Foundation will work together to organize events that will create sponsorship opportunities. We're seeking $10,000 in grant funding for the first year and $5,000 for the second year to cover the costs of these events to get them off the ground. Over time, we expect sponsorships to gradually cover more of the program's costs. By 2028, we aim to secure enough sponsors to eliminate the need for grant funding entirely. In the first year, we plan to host a Narita alumni dinner to spark community interest and identify potential sponsors by bringing that alumni community back together. This event will also help us gauge how effective the sponsorship model is. Depending on its success, we may make it an annual tradition or explore other approaches. Additionally, we'll seek local business and community sponsorships that will be tied to the public event at Centennial Plaza during the Narita delegation. With the prior funding model for the Narita program needing a revamp, we need the sustainability portion of the grant to help us develop a new sponsorship model. However, as with anything new, we honestly don't know yet which model will work, which is also part of why we need the funding. We plan to report on the success of the alumni dinner and initial attempts to garner sponsorships and adjust the sustainability model based on what we learn. And with that, you can turn to the next slide. We're open to any questions you may have about the grant proposal.
Are there any questions from the board? Any questions or comments from the public? Anything online?
No.
Okay. Before we vote on the resolution, I want to remind the board that the agenda item 8A, the board determined that the proposed San Bruno Narita Sister City Program strategic grant to the city of San Bruno does not present a conflict of interest under the nonprofit and exempt entity laws in accordance with the foundation's conflict of interest policy. Therefore, we will now move on to the resolution before the board. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution approving strategic grant supporting the San Bruno Narita Sister City Program to the city of San Bruno and the San Bruno Education Foundation totaling an amount not to exceed $109,000?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you so much, and we'll turn it over to Secretary Gomez for vote.
Thank you very much. Board Member Belinda Wong.
Aye.
Board Member Supriya Perry is excused. Treasurer Pat Lynn.
Aye.
Secretary Raul Gomez is an aye. Vice President Jim Ruane.
Aye.
President Melissa Lantani Jones.
Aye.
All ayes.
This concludes this item. Thank you, Sarah and Heather, for being here. We look forward to working with the city and the school district and the educational fund to bolster and support San Bruno Sister City relationship with Narita.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now transition to item D. Receive report on the Centennial Plaza Improvement Project from the city of San Bruno. In November of 2022, the San Bruno Community Foundation Board approved a $500,000 grant to the city of San Bruno to support the Centennial Plaza Improvement Project. The foundation has paid out the full $500,000 under the terms of the grant. And in late October, we celebrated the city in the opening of the new Centennial Plaza. I'd like to welcome Community Services Director Travis Carlin to give us a final report on the Centennial Plaza project as the grant has come to a close.
Thank you, President Lantani Jones. Good evening, board members. I'm here to give you a final presentation on the Centennial Plaza project. Next slide, please. So as you can remember, these were some of the previous conditions that we were faced with at Centennial Plaza. The majority of the plaza was not usable and was fenced off to the public. So when we had events like our annual tree lighting ceremony, a lot of the individuals had to stand and be packed in on the sidewalks. So we're excited that we've now come to a different Centennial Plaza. Next slide, please. This was the conceptual plan that was provided, and some of the highlights of the conceptual plan were a new stage with a trellis. Additionally, a water bottle filler that folks could come down and fill their water bottles with, a seating area with some picnic or modular furniture. Additionally, there's a bioswale that was added to this project along the way, a kids play area in the back of the plaza, and then some other decorative rocks and landscape in this plaza. Next slide, please. The project funding for this project came from a generous grant from the Community Foundation of $500,000. In addition, right after we did the award of the contract to Suarez and Munoz, with some help with one of our council members, Marnie Medina, we were able to secure a Measure K grant in the amount of $150,000 that we're working through and doing some final reporting on as well. And then additionally, the remaining amount of the project was funded by the Community Facilities Impact Fee Fund for a total allocation of $1.5 million. Next slide, please. So just a time frame from when we did this awarded project or awarded this project. This project actually came in under budget and then also ahead of time. So in February 2024, the City Council awarded the contract to Suarez and Munoz Construction Inc. They're also our same construction company that we awarded the contract for Florida Park, so we're very excited to work with them on that. They authorized a contingency of $115,000 for this project. They also authorized an allocation for project management services. We hired Wilsey Ham for this project, and I couldn't have been more pleased with their performance. Their lead project manager, Brett Miller, did an excellent job of keeping this project on task. We never had an open RFI for more than a day or so, so that was very exciting. So it was a very smooth project, and we have the same project manager for Florida Park project. In April of 2024, we did onboard Wilsey Ham. We did an internal kickoff meeting with our staff, and we held a groundbreaking event that many of you were at on the 19th of April. Our construction started the following week on the 22nd of April. And then through from April through October, we saw that we had our construction occurring out on site with a ribbon cutting happening on October 25th of this year. We started entertaining some events down there. We had a Halloween trick-or-treating event down there right after we had our grand opening event. Just last night, we had a beautiful tree lighting ceremony, and we saw a packed house down at Centennial Plaza. I just spoke to somebody and said if we had one more person, we might have been over capacity for that site. So it was a great event. We had we had a photo booth there. Santa Claus came, and then we continued on with Jingle Around the Block. So that was a great event that we had there. We're looking forward to working with some community groups to add some additional programs down in that space, and we'll be programming that space ourselves. If anybody's interested in holding an event there or renting the facility, they can contact our community services department to get the ball rolling on that. Next slide, please. So this project costs about $1,584,000. And a lot of people look at that facility and say, why did it cost so much? So the facility, as you recall, there used to be an old Wells Fargo bank on that site. When they took that building down, they didn't take all of the underground utilities and some of the infrastructure that was underground. So there was a lot of excavation of the site that had to occur. We also had to do some testing of the soil over there to make sure that compaction, we did compaction testing to make sure that the site could actually support the infrastructure that was going to be happening there. And there's, other things like engineers review. We had to do conceptual design all the way through the final design of the project. And that was about $200,000 just there. So that added to a lot of the cost. And then coming into the construction site, we also found some things that we weren't expecting, like additional pipes that were running through. We had to do mitigation to make sure that those weren't active utilities underneath the site. So a lot of those things kind of were taken into account on why this project was so expensive in the end. And so you'll see here over on the estimates side, those are the estimates that we brought forward to the City Council when we got this project approved. Some of the things that we didn't really think much about when we were bringing this forward is the soil testing that would have to occur, the additional soil testing that would have to occur. We did have some additional plan review, site electrical and functional costs, and then bid advertising logistics. The one saving grace in this project that I wanted to highlight is that we had part of the project where we were going to be doing a connection from the water bottle filler to the city's sanitation underneath the streets. What we found is that that's about 16 feet underneath the grade of the street. It would take massive excavation to have that occur. We worked very diligently with our Public Works Department and our Planning Department, and we got a what's called a dry well approved for that site, and it actually saved us about $45,000. Which we were able to put forward towards some of these other initiatives. And so we will be giving about $21,000 back to the Community Impact Fee Fund on this project. Next slide, please. So these are some pictures of the site today. Up in the upper left, you see the children's play area with the seating area in the back. Next picture over is the bioswale area. The next picture up on the upper right is the stage with the trellis, which has gotten good use already. That's a picture from our grand opening of the event. The bottom left is a picture that's leading from the back parking lot. We were able to work with the police department and Public Works to reinstall the parking meters there. And then additionally, we were able to salvage and move the time capsule, which is in the middle bottom picture. And then it's just one other highlight that I want to make of this site is when we were looking at the site and working through it, I looked at this site and said, yes, there's going to be a lot of beautiful features here, but we're still going to have that ugly wall that is on the side of the business because the Wells Fargo business was butted right up into that. So we had this ugly masonry wall that wasn't going to be very attractive when the building was done. So we actually worked with the business owner there to get an easement to upgrade that wall in hopes that in the next year or so that we could add a mural to that wall in the future as a future project. Additionally, we worked with the property owner on the backside to upgrade the fence to make it more attractive for the park as well. So those are two things that we did in the process of recreating this space. Very proud of the space. It went along very smoothly, and we now have a great gathering space for the public down in downtown San Bernardino. And I'm available for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Travis. Any questions?
I was just curious about the wall, the white wall. That's a future project.
Sure.
Do you have to construct something in front of it to paint or?
We do not. So we did the wall in a way that it's already prepped and ready for that. So what we will be doing is we will be bringing forward at the budget time this year a proposal to use some public art funding, because we do have a public art fund, to support a mural project in that area. We will go through a competitive bid process for securing an artist for that, and then hopefully having a new mural up there by the end of 2025. You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I just have a comment. I was actually there last night, and I just want to say congratulations. I have never actually seen San Mateo Avenue that bustling at that time of night. So it was gorgeous, actually. The carolers, tree lighting, just all the people. It was a beautiful thing. So congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Are there any comments from the public? Anything online? Okay. That was just a report out. And so if there are no more further questions or discussion, we will move on to the next item. Item D, receive report on the downtown beautification initiative from the city of San Bruno. In March of this year, the board approved a $350,000 grant to the city of San Bruno to support a series of projects to improve the visibility and appearance of San Bruno's downtown, including planter revitalization along San Mateo Avenue, the potential planting of trees on Gentleman Avenue, median landscape revitalization, that's such a hard word, the creation of a new street pole banner, and the replacement of the marquee sign on the south end of San Mateo Avenue. This grant is structured so that the city will submit one grant report when all projects are completed, after which the foundation will disperse a single grant payment of up to $350,000. As a result, the foundation has not yet made any grant payments on this grant, and I'd like to invite Director Carlin again up to the podium one more time this evening to give an update on the downtown beautification project.
Great. Thank you again, President Natani Jones and members of the board. So we brought this project to you earlier this year to fund this project, and we're very grateful that we were able to secure $350,000 in grant funding for this project. And just as a reminder for you and the public, this was to do a downtown planter revitalization. A lot of our planters, some of them don't have anything in them, and some of them need tremendous help. Additionally, the feasibility of trees on Jennifer Avenue, median landscape revitalization, street pole banners, South Mateo Avenue Gateway marquee sign. Next slide, please. So as you remember, when I did this presentation, there's a lot of unknowns to this project. We have irrigation breaks under the sidewalk, lots of unknowns to this. And so when we brought this forward to you, we broke this down into different sections. And right here, it shows kind of the breakdown of what this project was going to entail. And these are some project estimates based on some conversations that we had with different construction companies, different landscape companies, in order to achieve the project that we wanted to achieve in downtown. Next slide, please. The planters and trees and medians, we started in July 2024, and we actually bid this project out at one point, and we did receive one bid on the project. Unfortunately, the project bid that came in was the amount for the same for the whole project. It came in at just over $350,000. We only had one bid. We did a little bit of reflection on this and determined that because there were so many unknowns to this project, it was a really hard project to bid for any construction company. And so at that point, we rejected the bid. And in October of 2024, we began working with Calendar and Associates, which is the same company that we used for Crestmore. They were also the designer for our Centennial Plaza. And we started working with them to actually create bid documents that we could use to bid the planters, trees, and medians project, our part of the project out. So we've been working with them over the last few months. We've already started some of the work on that. And we are looking at tentative bid documents to be delivered to us by April of this year. With those bid documents, we'll be able to quickly turn that around and bid this project out again. And the hope is to have that award of contract and being able to start that construction on the trees, planters, and medians by July of 2025, with a successful completion in November or December of 2025 for that part of the project. Next slide, please. The banners, we hired Speed Pro in July of 2024. And when we hired them, we actually put together a small committee of community members. Nancy Foreman, who takes care of our planters and has been very instrumental in downtown beautification, was on that. We had a couple of business owners on that committee, and then we selected a person from the Lions Club and a person from the Rotary to sit on that committee. And we did a charrette where we looked at different options for design for the San Bruno banners. We came to a conclusion on what those banners will look like. So we do have a holiday set that is it's really all about diversity and inclusion. And there are some beautiful blue banners with a lot of streamers and different things on them. And then they did decide for the general banners to go with the theme, the city with a heart. We have a beautiful banner. It's a 4-color banner, so it'll have 4 different colors that alternate down the boulevard and really highlight the heart. And it's actually the heart from space, what it would look like down in the downtown area. And those will be highlighted at different times of the year. And then we did come up with our summer banner. It's actually got poppies on it. And then the alternating banner is an American flag that has some poppies that are in the foreground of it. And they're very attractive banners. And that collection should be delivered to the city by the end of December. And then we'll be starting with those general banners being put up in January. Next slide, please. I feel like I'm catching the mayor's fire. The marquee sign has been placed on hold. Upon further analysis of this and working with Peter Gilly from Community Development, he pulled the transit corridor plan just to make sure that we are compliant with everything in that plan. What we learned, and either I knew this or Peter knew this, but what we learned is that the transit corridor plan calls for a reconfigured intersection there at San Mateo Avenue and El Camino Real. And so the transit corridor plan calls for this to improve pedestrian access to downtown and making it safer for pedestrians to cross there. Also to improve vehicular access both into downtown and onto San Mateo Boulevard, and then to create a plaza gateway to downtown. So what we are doing is we're placing the marquee sign on hold because we don't want to put in a marquee sign and then have to take it out later in the upcoming years. So the funding request, what Peter and his team is doing a funding request to the city council in the 2025-26 CIP to study the feasibility of this project. And if you'll go to the next slide, you can see the difference here. So on the slide on the photo on the left, you'll see the current conditions of San Mateo Boulevard intersection with El Camino Real. And then on the right side, you'll see a new imagined area. And you can see that instead of San Mateo coming straight onto El Camino Real, it would actually curve and create an opportunity for some new crosswalks there. And then on the left-hand side, there you see those two purple trees that would create a new opportunity for a plaza as a new entrance to the downtown. So Peter is looking for funding from the city council to fund the CIP project to look at the feasibility of this project. And with that, available for any other questions you might have.
Great, thank you, Travis. Are there any questions from the board? Any from the public? Online? No?
Sorry, did you cover the Genevan trees?
Yeah, so the Genevan trees will be part of the part of the design that will happen with Calendar Associates, so that'll be included in there. So they're gonna be looking at all the underground utilities and making sure that it's feasible before we actually have bid documents. So we'll know that before we go into bid.
Okay, so that wasn't broken out, because there was a feasibility analysis.
Right, so that will be done by Calendar and Associates prior to this, so that'll all be done before we go to the bid. So they'll be able to.
2025.
Correct, they'll be able to tell us if that's feasible and if we can include that in the project.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Unless there's any further comments from the board, that concludes this item. Thanks again, Travis, for the report. Item F, receive report on other programs, Pressmore Scholarship and other strategic plan, grants, and I'll turn it over to Leslie.
In the interest of time, and thank you, city staff, for joining us for this long. And so that we can get out of here sooner rather than later. I'm just going to refer to my report in the packet and just want to highlight that the Pressmore Scholarship will launch on its normal schedule next week, when we will have the online application will be available, and we'll start doing our outreach to the high schools and community colleges in the area. We are not making any significant changes to the program this year, and we will continue our efforts to get applicants both from the community colleges and the high school students going to community college. Jessica's scheduling the workshops, both in person and virtual, for potential applicants. And the application deadline will be March 4th, 2025. We also, just so you know, expect to have a final RAC construction presentation from the city, hopefully, at our next board meeting, which will be in February. We decided that they were still wrapping things up with sort of the final punch list on construction at the RAC right now, and Travis could have a more comprehensive report at our next meeting.
Right, any questions from the board? From the public, Kristen? Anything online? Okay, cool. So that concludes that item. It was just a report. Thank you. Moving on to G, receive report from investment committee on its November 20th, 2024 regular meeting. As chair of the investment committee, Treasurer Lynn will provide this report.
Thank you, President Natami Jones. On November 20th, we did our quarterly meeting. And there were really two main items that were discussed. One was the reports from Sandhill Global, and I'm sure that you can provide more information than I do. But really in there, there's three parts to it. One is the economic forecast. There is showing growth. Of course, we've seen the market kind of goes up and down, but overall it's growing. The Federal Reserve has been going down, but slower than expected. So basically that meant that addresses to the market expectation of how things are going, and that's the fluctuation. In terms of our three investments, total investment as of the report is 31.9 million, with quasi endowment at 24.8, strategic pool at 5.7, and liquidity pool at 31.9. Did I read that? No, 1.9. Sorry, I think I wrote that wrong. And then the last is the overall portfolio assessment. So far, there was a withdrawal of 60.4 million, and the portfolio actually, with the leadership of Sandhill, had added value of 21.5 million since the inception, so that's great. The next item was about the cash flow needs, and largely still the RAC. And as Leslie just said, we're kind of near the end, so far we've already paid $50.9 million of the 51.5, and that leaves about $500,000 left. And that is the report. And of course, our next meeting is in February of 2025.
Great. Any questions from the board? Any from the public? Okay. No, Leslie? Yeah. Okay. Well, that concludes that item, as it was just a report, no action to be taken. Item number 9, all things packed. Number 9, board member comments. Would any board member like to make any comments?
Just briefly, a great meeting. It's such a satisfaction to watch what we initiated many years ago to actually come to fruition and put it right back into the community that we love so much. And also a very, very happy holiday to everyone.
Cheers. Good night. Happy holidays to everybody. And I just want to quickly, I didn't acknowledge, but I wanted to thank the review panel for the community grants. I wanted to acknowledge them and thank them for their time and effort of reviewing all of the community grant submissions, and also wanted to shout out Jessica for her hard work in coordinating all of that, and as she ramps up for the scholarships, also thank her and Leslie for their work. Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is to adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second. I never need to second it. Okay, awesome. We are adjourned during the consent calendar. The board canceled the next regular meeting in January 1st, 2025. So the next board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, February 5th at 7. Happy holidays.